Welcome to Healthcare Sucks. Uh, I wanted to touch base and try to help out some people, maybe in our crowd and outside our normal crowd. Maybe some of Team 99 and maybe some family members or friends or neighbors of Team 99. Excuse me, I got to break the rule. I wiped it with the rag. It was a scratchy nose itch. Oops, I just did it. See? That's how easy you break the rules. Okay, so I'm going to jump in and give you some of my ideas and things. Then we're going to watch some on the TV because then you get their ideas. And plus, you may have some ideas. I personally think the mental health aspect has not been addressed by the governors, the senators, even the president at this point. We already were in a very severe mental health crisis. We've been there for years. This stems from medication cuts, particularly the four that work, not for everybody, but they worked in your toolbox with all the ones that are slow acting or don't work at all. And it comes along with one of my main subjects I do, the opiate farce. But we're going to stick to the mental health L tonight. But we will come back and address the pain medications and the opiate farce in the next few days. I promise you. Okay, so with that, the four I'm talking about: Valium, Xanax, Aprazolam, and Temazepam, I believe, which might even be Valium, a different one. And there may even be one or two, three out there that are along the same lines as that. My experience, like I said, I've done healthcare, representative work, other things, and family members with mental illness, and a son with a mental illness, autism, to be honest with you guys. So I have an extensive, I don't have a basket weaving degree on my shoulder, but a lot of doctors and newer doctors and most counselors don't have the experience I have. As a matter of fact, most counselors are not even qualified to do what they're doing, unfortunately. What they do in outer areas, especially, they have one certified mental health person that they break the rules basically to allow all these other lower level, barely qualified counselors to do their job. So with that being said, I know I went into the aspects and I should just go into the how to help people. Okay, so it really came to me tonight because I'm seeing people breaking down. I had to do one of my last runs for hopefully a while out in public to try to get some medication things worked out. And they managed to get me 2 boxes, which is of my one meds, which is better than none. And unfortunately, I got to go back out again when some more stuff gets in. I really didn't want to. Real quick, the film broke off earlier. If you caught that with the helicopter and the stuff in Otis, Oregon. What happened was a lady just up the way kind of from me, excuse me, fell into a fire pit. She was burning like we have open fires when you're outside city limits, and she was burning like debris. And she somehow, nobody's explained it, tripped and fell into the fire and got burned. So they were going to life flight her to a better hospital. Unfortunately, our hospital in Lincoln City, Samaritan, I could go into that another day. Let's just say they're not very qualified to deal with most things. Maybe a cold. Maybe diarrhea. I'm joking. Anyway, back to the serious point here. So with this, people are going to stress. They're going to stress over lots of things, being locked in the house more. For some people, that's where they live most of the time. But all of a sudden, I think that when they're told to do so, or maybe more so, especially people in the cities, guys, it's going to be really hard. Again, a lot of people self-isolate anyway. With the tablets, the phones, all this electronic stuff, video games, TVs, you name it. We do a lot of that. I personally try to go outside and do things as much as possible. But even my child is the same kind of thing. I mean, it's hard to get kids off the couch, more or less. That's a good way to put it. Um, so, excuse me. Um, with that being said, um, you might have to create new ideas and stuff. Do what you normally do, kind of thing, every day. Kind of maybe even try to ignore this a little bit, push it aside. I know you can't get it totally out of your mind because it's everywhere. Um, now's a good time for spring cleaning. You'll have time to do all these other little things. Don't wear yourself out doing too much at work all at once. You can spread it out over days or weeks or whatever. Go through your clothes and maybe decide to give some to some people down the road. Of course, right now, unless you know the people and they feel safe doing that, I guess maybe, but you could bag them up. Okay. Same thing with kitchen utensils, other things down the road. So you could do that. If you do and are lucky enough not to live in an apartment, or even if you do live in an apartment, but you can get out and get some air. Just supposed to stay now the 6 feet away from each other standard is what's being called social distancing. These things get ridiculous really fast with the things nowadays, guys. So if you do have your own property, though, it's a little different. You can get out on the nice days, do a little gardening, do a little this, do a little that. Um, if you're lucky enough to have some seeds and some other things, and you're allowed to, and you're in apartments and you have a balcony, as soon as the weather gets to a decent point, you can start planting some stuff in planters. If you have the soil, if you haven't and you can't get it, maybe somebody can provide. We're going to go hardcore into the bartering because depending what comes in the future, we might have to do more bartering. So, but I kind of want to stay to the mental ill stuff. So, it's going to be real hard at times, and I really feel bad for the people. So, as us, as the Team 99, and even if you're not, you're on your own or you're watching the film tonight for the first time, welcome aboard. This is Healthcare Sucks. We try to help people and we try to bring you the truth, the facts, and possibly where this thing is going. Um, with that being said, we use the Fair Use Act, and I'm supposed to say everything's humble jumbo, fictional, but we know it's not. Okay, so with that out of the way, um, so you might try all kinds of things. A lot of these things are probably going to be covered on the different films tonight, from exercising to uh, doing little things on your phones, your apps, again, games, all that's good. But you need to break it up and change it up a little bit. Um, uh, Interaction with other people, you're going to have to make those decisions, and with those other people, how much interaction that be, whether it be, uh, actually meeting together or playing stuff in groups online and talking online and FaceTiming and all these other things we have in the wonderful world of wonderful things we have nowadays. Um, you could even start a diaries. I mean, things we don't do as much of anymore. You could write letters to people. I don't know if that's a good idea either, on the other hand. However, the mail is still running at the moment because I know a mailman. Hi, mailman, if you're watching this. Um, uh, Cooking. Um, if you have freezer room, you could when you do make meals, make a little more. Put some in some of those containers, put it away, and then bam, you got food ready to go. If you get to the point you're doing the beans things, the rice things, and all that, make enough of it to where you can put some of that away. You can even put it in baggies. They have different levels of protection. Personally, it depends how long you're going to freeze something, whether you need to go to the real thick ones or not. They're supposed to set everybody up so you can still contact your counselors and all these other people that people reach out to. I'm trying to get this, at least in Oregon, you might do the same. I'm trying to get the governors and senators to make some protocols so everybody can get their meds still. I think that's going to be real important. So with that, I may come back, but I want to jump in and let's see what they're giving as advice. I did cheat and watch this one, and I thought it was a pretty good one to start at. So if it'll go, guys, it's going to be one of those.
About the coronavirus pandemic and the impact it has
Of course.
on Washington state. So here are the latest
It wants
numbers.
to be
They
a
were just
pain.
released today.
Here we go. I'll let you watch it.
In a time when we're being told to avoid large crowds, maybe even self-isolate, that can become quite overwhelming, maybe even lonely. So what do we do? Well, health experts say video call your family and friends, or step outside and get some fresh air if you can, or just check in with yourself, sit with your emotions, and process them. If you're feeling down or stressed out, you're not alone.
These reactions and the feelings that we're all feeling with such intensity are really the normal response to these abnormal circumstances.
Licensed therapist Colleen Hilton says some of her clients at Acuity Counseling are feeling overwhelmed by the coronavirus pandemic.
We're in an unprecedented situation, and there's no rule book and no instructions on how to handle this.
The CDC and WHO encouraging people to avoid crowded areas, local health officials urging social distancing. While necessary, Hilton says make sure you're paying attention to how you're feeling.
Social isolation is really the known gateway drug to depression. So depending on how long this goes on, we might see some really significant long-term impacts.
The good news, there are ways to cope.
So we are really encouraging our clients now to be active, to continue doing the things that they love and bring joy to their lives. And to be really intentional about how they interact with other people, but not to completely isolate.
Outside of using social media to stay connected, keep in mind that endless scrolling may not be the best idea.
It's a double-edged sword. We have so much information at our fingertips, and how can we possibly process all of that information all at the same time? So we really encourage people to practice, again, boundaries and limitations.
Hilton says take everything in stride. You may feel isolated, but your emotions are not.
We're struggling with what to do with all of this, and I love that we're talking about that, because we don't really know what to do.
Britt Moore, King 5 News.
And here's another one, guys. I thought we'd just kind of go through it. And I might have messed that up for people, so I'm going to run it one more time. I hope you guys don't mind. And there we go. Again, I hope that helps. I will be doing some more research and try to bring you some more tips and some other things to go with it. In the next few days, I've decided my son wants to take a part in the videos, and I thought we can do a kids kind of thing, and then he can share. And it should be. I'll try to make it as G-rated as possible, and it'll probably be like him talking about game stuff or outside stuff or this and that, but it might be good. We'll see. I'll record it, and if it looks appropriate, I'll run with it. I also know another person that may come on that has some things, and she might want to share, so I might include that coming up. I'm going to include some going out and around my area outside. And that way, if you guys are trapped in a situation to where you can't get outside and things do get to the severe lockdown point, I may even try to run a live stream. I know I'm supposed to be doing live stuff. That's coming. Hopefully the leak's fixed. Put the studio back. But while it's nice, when it's nice outside, and this is for the future, um, I may run some live streams on the. I have a beautiful area outside, and it might just be comfortable or comforting to watch it. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty comfortable for me to watch it. So I'd like to share that with you guys, and you can share it with your friends and family and anybody else. And you can just share it. If it makes people feel good, it makes me feel good. So with that, I'm going to let you go. It's been a lot of yapping. I apologize, but I'm trying to help. I thought about it a lot today when I was out doing the work and I was watching in the crowds and, people stressing. And I want to thank all of you for watching my show. And if you're out there working still, I want to thank you for being out there and taking the risks to work. I mean, it is got to be stressful, and just going out shopping right now was a little stressful for me. And I don't really have anxieties and things like that. I'm kind of fortunate. I'm an old stick in the mud, and if I had something, I'd probably push it aside and go on. I'm kind of a captain kind of person. As a matter of fact, in the past, um, I've owned boats and other things, and they've called me captain. So, I mean, it's not a bad tag to have. I don't see myself as a general or anything. And with that, I'm joking with you guys a little bit. So, keep it a humor. And remember, healthcare sucks, and we love you. Please stay safe, and please get a little bit prepared, because we just don't know. And our governor here just keeps changing her mind. We're going to go this way, we're going to go that way, which I think is more confusing for a lot of people and stuff. So if I can help in any way, or give you guys comfort in any way, or you have an idea for a show or something during these times when we're all going to be together, and I might be what you're watching. And I thank you for watching. And remember, one more time, healthcare sucks. Have a great night.